Once again, my name is DJ Ray. I do this every Tuesday night live on TikTok and Facebook. And basically, we do the greatest of all time in different music categories. Tonight, as I said, we're going to do the greatest modern pianist of all time / keyboard player. So let's get started with number 20. Okay, here we go. Number 20. Coming in at number 20 is Christine McVie. Born in Lancashire, England on July 12, 1943, the late Christine Ann Perfect, also known as Christine McVie, was introduced to the piano when she was 4 years old. Remember that number because it seems like a lot of these pianists learned when they were 4. It must be the minimum age. But she didn't study music seriously until the age of 11. At that point, she decided to continue her classical training until the age of 15. At which time she shifted her musical focus towards rock and roll, of course. By the year 1968, Christine McVie started working as a session player with British American rock band Fleetwood Mac. Eventually, she became a prime mover behind some of the band's biggest hits, including songs like Say You Love Me, Don't Stop, Everywhere, and Little Lies. As the band's primary keyboardist, Christine McVie was able to display her exceptional musicianship on various tracks, including songs like Songbird from 1977, Don't Stop from 1977, and Sarah from 1979. A Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee and 2-time Grammy Award winner, in 1998, Christine McVie received the Brit Award for Outstanding Contribution to Music. In 2014, she also received the Ivor Novello Award from the British Academy of Songwriters, Composers, and Authors. Coming in at number 20 on DJ Ray's greatest pianist / keyboard player of all time, Christine McVie, formerly of Fleetwood Mac. And of course, we lost Christine McVie a few years ago, sadly. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how great she really was on those keyboards. Okay, let's continue on with number 19. Canadian. Coming in at number 19 on the GOATs, greatest of all time pianists, Burton Cummings. Born in Winnipeg, Manitoba on December 31st, 1947, Burton Lorne Cummings is a singer, musician, and songwriter who is best known for leading the Guess Who through the band's most successful period and for his lengthy solo career. By the time he was 17, Burton Cummings dropped out of school to pursue a career in music. As a member of the Guess Who, his piano skills were particularly noticeable on songs like These Eyes and Laughing, both released in 1969. As a solo artist, these skills were quite prominent on his 1976 hit single, Stand Tall. Burton Cummings' exceptional piano skills led him to be inducted into the Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame and the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. Coming in at number 19 on the greatest pianists of all time, Burton Cummings, fellow Canadian. We always see him. You seen him, eh, Teddy? That's great. Must have been. I've never seen him live. It must have been a pretty cool experience. Did you see him when he was young and vibrant? What is that? Okay. All right. Let's continue on with number 18, greatest pianist of all time. We're looking for the GOAT. We're looking for number 1. And for those of you who haven't picked yet, hi, Debbie. What I'd like you to do is put in the, that's cool, Teddy. Put in the chat who you think is the greatest pianist of all time. We're not talking Beethoven and stuff. We're talking modern history from like maybe 1940 and up, somewhere around there. Greatest pianist in that time. And take into consideration, we're not just looking at, because this is a little bit of an objective week. You know, there's not just facts to prove who the best. So what I base it on is obviously their pedigree, but also how many songs they came out, how often they play songs with piano, how well they play the piano. Of course, there's a lot of factors, Grammy awards, all kind of things like that. So far we had number 20 was Christine McVie, formerly of Fleetwood Mac, and number 19 Burton Cummings. Coming in at number 18 is Neil Sedaka. Born in New York City on March 13th, 1939, Neil Sedaka is a singer, songwriter, and pianist whose music career began in 1957. After demonstrating his musical aptitude in the second grade, his teacher sent a note home suggesting he take piano lessons. His mother then took a part-time job for approximately 6 months in order to pay for a secondhand piano. It turned out to be a life-changing decision, as Neil Sedaka went on to release a string of hit singles, including some incredible piano-driven tracks like Laughter in the Rain, 1974, and Breaking Up is Hard to Do, the slow version, 1975. As you may or may not know, there was 2 versions of Breaking Up is Hard to Do, the 50s one, the kind of a doo-wop one, and of course in 75, which I think was actually the better version, is the slow version, but the piano was immaculate on it. He also wrote popular keyboard singles like the Captain and Tennille's 1975 hit, Love Will Keep Us Together. In 1983, Neil Sedaka was officially inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame and is now officially on DJ Ray's greatest of all time pianists. At number 18, it's Neil Sedaka. We got a Billy Preston in there for Teddy. Remember, guys, just pick one pick because the first one you type in is the one we're going to go with. And Mummy Dearest is the moderator, so she's kind of keeping an eye on you guys and stuff. Now, you can pick a second pick, but only if your first pick is gone. So, you know, like for instance, I just said Neil Sedaka. If somebody would have said Neil Sedaka, obviously Neil Sedaka's off the table. Then you can pick another one, okay? Hey, Al. So yeah, you know, just keep that in mind. But you can only pick your choice, whether it's your second pick or whatever, when we get to number 5. After that, basically the voting's over. So not too many rules, but just, you know. Yeah, thanks, Teddy. Okay, coming in at number 17, Ray Manzarek. Born in Chicago, Illinois on February 12th, 1939, Ray Manzarek was the co-founder and keyboard player for the legendary classic rock band, The Doors. In 1966, they secured one of their first gigs as the house band at London Fog on the Sunset Strip. According to Manzarek, quote, "Nobody ever came in the place, an occasional sailor or two on leave, and a few drunks. All in all, it was a very depressing experience. But it gave us time to really get the music together." Ray Manzarek's signature sound came from the Vox Continental combo organ, an instrument that was used by many psychedelic rock bands of the era. Some of the Doors songs that really showcase Ray Manzarek's keyboard talents include People Are Strange from 1967, Light My Fire, also 1967, and Riders on the Storm, 1971. That one was brilliant. Makes me want to listen to it after this. US Today once described Manzarek as one of the best keyboardists ever. And in 1993, he was officially inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Coming in at number 17 from The Doors, it's Ray Manzarek. I like that. Ray Day. I like that. It's got a bit of a flow to it. Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, so for those of you who just joined, my name's DJ Ray. My show is called DJ Ray's Music Goats. The GOAT stands for the greatest of all time in different music categories. Tonight's category or theme is the greatest pianist / keyboard player of all time. I'm not going to say that all. If I say just greatest pianist, you know what I mean. Keyboards count as well. And so far, we've counted down, 4? At number 20, we had Christine McVie, formerly of Fleetwood Mac. At number 19, we had Burton Cummings, formerly of the Guess Who. At number 18, it was Neil Sedaka. And at number 17, where we just left off, Ray Manzarek of The Doors, which takes us now to number 16. One some of you may not have thought of, but he definitely deserves to be on this list. His name, Harry Connick Jr. Born in New Orleans, Louisiana, on September 11th, 1967, Harry Connick Jr. is a singer, composer, and pianist who is ranked among the best-selling male artists in America. He began playing keyboard at 3 years of age, and by the time he was 9, he performed, get this, Beethoven's Concerto No. 3, Opus 37, with the New Orleans Symphony Orchestra. 9 years old. Throughout his career, Harry Connick Jr. has recorded several top 20 U.S. albums and 10 #1 jazz albums, which as of 2009 was more than any other artist in American jazz history. He is also the recipient of 3 Grammy Awards and 2 Emmys. Coming in at number 16, also did some acting. Pretty good actor, actually, for, limited exposure. Coming in at number 16, Harry Connick Jr. on the greatest pianists of all time. And we're counting down until we get to that #1 GOAT. Who's the greatest pianist of all time? Makes you scratch your head and wonder. There's a couple surprises on here that you're going to find. But, and this one was a hard one to, do research with because, again, it's a lot of objectivity and whatnot. But, I think I got it right. And speaking of right, this next guy, for those of you who really know your rock and progressive rock music, you're going to think, well, this guy's the best of all time. But keep in mind, he didn't, have his own, it just wasn't as big overall. His keyboards, pretty amazing. And number 15, we have Rick Wakeman. Born in Middlesex, England on May 18th, 1949, Rick Wakeman is a musician and composer who is best known as a member of the progressive rock band Yes. In 1969, he quit his studies at the Royal College of Music to become a full-time session musician. His early sessions included working with artists like David Bowie, Elton John, Mark Bolan, Cat Stevens, and Lou Reed. In 1971, Rick Wakeman joined Yes and eventually contributed his keyboard skills to many of their songs, including their signature track, Roundabout, in 1972. AllMusic described Wakeman as a classically trained keyboardist extraordinaire who plied his trade with Yes and developed his own brand of live spectacular in his solo act. In 2017, Rick Wakeman was officially inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and in 2024, Neil McCormick of the Daily Telegraph ranked him as the second greatest keyboard player of all time. Coming in at number 15 from the progressive rock band Yes, Rick Wakeman. Okay, this next guy is kind of along the same lines, similar story as Rick Wakeman. And coming in at number 14 is Keith Emerson. Born in Yorkshire, England on November 2nd, 1944, the late Keith Noel Emerson was a very successful keyboardist and songwriter who was a founding member of the supergroup Emerson, Lake and Palmer. As a young man, this is how he described himself, quote, "I was a very serious child. I used to walk around with Beethoven sonatas under my arm. However, I was very good at avoiding being beaten up by the bullies. That was because I could also play Jerry Lee Lewis and Little Richard songs. So they thought I was kind of cool and left me alone." One of his greatest keyboard compositions with Emerson, Lake and Palmer came in 1977 with their highest charting UK single, Fanfare for the Common Man, which peaked at number 2. Widely regarded as one of the greatest keyboard players of the progressive rock era, AllMusic described Keith Emerson as perhaps the greatest, most technically accomplished keyboardist in rock history. You see, it's almost like I read the same thing with Rick Wakeman and Keith Emerson. I always found them to have a lot of similarities. I mean, both were kind of progressive rock bands too, so a lot of similarities. Okay, for those just joining, not aware, I'm DJ Ray. I'm here every Tuesday night live on Facebook and TikTok, 8 p.m. sharp. And my show is called DJ Ray's Music Goats. And basically, every week I try to find the greatest of all time in different music themes. Tonight's theme, the greatest pianist of all time. Up to this point, we've had Christine McVie at number 20, Burton Cummings at number 19. Neil Sedaka at 18. 17 was Ray Manzarek from The Doors. Number 16, Harry Connick Jr. Number 15, Rick Wakeman. Number 14, Keith Emerson. And number 13, Billy Preston. I believe Teddy or somebody said Billy Preston. Not sure. So whoever said Billy Preston, you're more than welcome to scratch that and try to pick another one up until I get to the number 5. After I announce the number 5 one, the polls are closed, basically. So number 13, Billy Preston. Born in Houston, Texas on September 2nd, 1946, Billy Everett Preston was a singer, songwriter, and keyboardist who was a top session musician during the 1960s, backing artists like Little Richard, Sam Cooke, Ray Charles, the Everly Brothers, the Rolling Stones, and the Beatles. Often referred to as the fifth Beatle, he is one of the very few musicians to be given credit on a Beatles recording with their 1969 single, Get Back. A child prodigy, Billy Preston was self-taught, never having had a music lesson. By the age of 10, he was playing organ on stage with legendary gospel singer Mahalia Jackson. By the time he was 11, Billy Preston appeared on Nat King Cole's TV show on NBC, performing with Cole himself. That's pretty impressive. I think Billy Preston would win from preteen. He would be the greatest. That's a pretty impressive resume. His 2 number 1 U.S. singles, Will It Go Round in Circles, 1973, and Nothing from Nothing, 1974, were both prime examples of Billy Preston's fluency on the keyboard. A 1973 Grammy Award winner, in 2021, he was officially inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah, Billy Preston, he was like this with the Beatles and even the Stones, but the Beatles in particular, him and George Harrison, even after the Beatles disbanded, had a nice little music partnership going. So coming in at number 13, the fifth Beatle, Billy Preston. Okay, let's move on to number 12. And on my list here for the greatest pianist of all time at the number 12 spot, it's Steve Winwood. Stevie Winwood. Born in Birmingham, England on May 12, 1948, Stephen Lawrence Winwood is a songwriter and musician who played a range of instruments, including drums, mandolin, bass, saxophone, guitar, and of course, keyboards. One of his earliest passions was the piano, which he began playing when he was just 4 years old. There's that 4 again. While he was still attending secondary school, Steve Winwood began playing his Hammond C3 organ, with legendary blues artists like Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, John Lee Hooker, B.B. King, Bo Diddley, and Chuck Berry. God, how do these guys, he's in freaking secondary school playing with, maybe they weren't legends then, I guess, but looking at that list, that's pretty impressive for Steve Winwood. Some of Steve Winwood's most popular keyboard-based songs include Gimme Some Lovin' with the Spencer Davis Group in 1966, and While You See a Chance Take It as a solo artist in 1980. Throughout his career, he's won 2 Grammy Awards, and in 2004, Steve Winwood was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of the band Traffic. So yeah, Steve Winwood was like a hired gun almost, everybody wanted him. Basically, one of the best, almost like a session musician, but he wasn't. He was like a session musician that would come in and take over, sort of thing. He played with Traffic. He played with the Spencer Davis Group. He accompanied all those great blues artists and had a pretty solid solo career as well. Coming in at number 12, I give the nod to Steve Winwood. And once again, a reminder, I'm DJ Ray. I'm here every Tuesday night live at 8 p.m. on both Facebook and TikTok. I could see Facebook's happening over there with Tina and Bobby. You guys got any pics in there? Okay, so we've got a Elton John for Bobby, and That came in at 2 minutes ago. Just so you know, Bobby, that one's been taken, but you can still take it. You're first on Facebook. Maybe we should have a Facebook championship and a TikTok championship. You know, at this point, it's all one. So, and cousin Tina, is picking Stevie Wonder, who's also been picked, but and she picked that 1 minute ago. So, you know, and as far as the next topic, Bobby, I'm going to keep you waiting just for a little bit. And I don't know why I'm looking that way for. My screen's that way, but Facebook, TikTok, you're right in front of me. Okay, let's continue on with the greatest pianist of all time. We left off at number 12. We're now at number 11. And the crazy man himself comes in at number 11, Little Richard. By the way, Bobby says if she wins on Facebook, she's willing to split the prize with. There's no prize, Bobby, but what we are doing is we're putting all the champions together. So far, we have Uncle Mike with 2 championships, Darren with 1, Ange with 1, Hunter with 1, and Jay with 1. By the end of summer or beginning of fall, I'll be announcing it. I'm going to do a best of the best. And at that point, we are going to crown the best of the best and who knows their music the best. And we will have a nice sweet prize to be given away, also to be announced. Okay, so number 11, Little Richard. Born in Mason, Georgia on December 5th, 1932, the late Richard Wayne Penniman, better known as Little Richard, was often described as the architect of rock and roll. His frantic, high-energy piano style inspired other rock stars like Elvis Presley, Buddy Holly, and Jerry Lee Lewis. By 1962, his star was shining so brightly that the Beatles were the opening act during his European tour. Pretty cool to have the Beatles open for you. Of course, this was a couple years before the Beatles broke through during the British invasion. His feverish piano playing style is well documented in some of his most popular singles like Tutti Frutti, 1955, Lucille, 1957, and Good Golly Miss Molly, 1958. In 1986, Little Richard was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and in 1993, he received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Some of his other accolades include a 2003 induction into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and in 2023, Rolling Stone magazine ranked him at number 11 on their list of the greatest singers of all time. Coming in at number 11, Little Richard. What would the world have been without Little Richard for rock and roll? You know, it makes you wonder, eh? And phenomenal pianist. And I guess some people, when you think of pianist, you think of classical and you think of, you know, but there's many styles of piano playing. And I like that, you know, raw, choppy sound and whatever that Little Richard. And there's no denying he's one of the best. So he comes in at number 11. Okay. Top 10, guys. Just before I do that, can we get to 40,000? I'd love it if we can. Let's try, Debbie. You can lead the pack. I don't see Ange here tonight. Is she in there, in the room there? Oh, okay. She might have clients. Okay. So yeah, feel free to lead the pack, Debbie. You got my blessing. Really quick, a rundown on our top from 20 to 11 pianists. At number 20 was Christine McVie. At number 19 was Burton Cummings. Number 18 was Neil Sedaka. Number 17 was Ray Manzarek from The Doors. Number 16, Harry Connick Jr. Number 15, Rick Wakeman. Number 14, Keith Emerson. Number 13, Billy Preston. Number 12 was Steve Winwood. And number 11 was Little Richard. Number 10, Roberta Flack. Born in Black Mountain, North Carolina on February 10th, 1937, the late Roberta Flack was a popular soul singer and pianist who became the first artist to win the Grammy Award for Record of the Year twice consecutively. As a child, she grew up in a large musical family and often provided her piano skills to the choir of her local church. By the time she was 13, Roberta Flack began gravitating towards classical piano. And in 1952, at the age of 15, she received a full music scholarship to Howard University in Washington, D.C. It was there that she met her future collaborator, Donny Hathaway. Some of her signature piano-based singles include songs like The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, 1972, Killing Me Softly, 1973, and The Closer I Get to You, 1978. In 2020, Roberta Flack received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, and in 2021, she was one of the very first inductees into the Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame. That's right. Is that Terry, Jack's cousin Terry? Wow, look at this. We got a bit of a family thing going on in the Facebook Live here. Welcome aboard. Good to see you, buddy. Feel free to pick who you think is the greatest of all time pianist. We've got some great picks coming in here, and we're going to be crowning a champion, not only the greatest pianist, but the greatest pianist picker here on TikTok or Facebook. So yeah, number 10, I give the nod to Roberta Flack, or Roberta Chapman, as they. Okay, so inside joke. Number 9. Our number 9 choice, or my number 9 choice, Carole King. Born in New York City on February 9th, 1942, Carole King was an exceptional songwriter and musician who wrote or co-wrote 118 different songs that charted on Billboard's Hot 100 chart in the US. When she was just, you guessed it, 4 years old, her parents discovered she had absolute pitch, which enabled her to name a note correctly just by hearing it. It was then that Carole King began taking piano lessons. She was later quoted as saying, "My mother never forced me to practice. She didn't have to. I wanted so much to master the popular songs that poured in on the radio." A 4-time Grammy Award winner, Carole King was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame and twice inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In 2013, she was awarded the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. And arguably, I don't want to call her the greatest songwriter of all time, but she's got to be in the top 5, you know. So yeah, and songwriting and piano skills always seem to kind of, well, I guess any kind of instrument, but piano in particular, you know, you just assume if somebody's a great songwriter, they're a great piano player and vice versa, but that's just my thoughts. So yeah, Carole King comes in at number 9, and just before I announce number 8, I just want to remind you, I'm DJ Ray. I'm here hi Ange. Ange is finally here, guys. Let's get this party going. Still not too late. We still got our top 8 to do. And anyway, I'm DJ Ray. I'm here live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. live on TikTok, live on Facebook with my show DJ Ray's Music Goats, which basically counting down the top 20 greatest of all time. But the important one is number 1, the greatest of all time. And we do a little thing where we get you guys to type in who you think's the greatest. And even if you don't type in the first, like whoever wins, it's good to know that you knew the number 1. So, you know, it's not like we're giving away prizes yet, but we are adding the winners, the champions of each week, to our winners board. And there's going to be a best of the best tournament later in the summer or early fall. That will have a nice prize. So we left off at number 10 was Roberta Flack. Number 9 was Carole King. Number 8, you may be surprised by this one, John Legend. Born in Springfield, Ohio on December 28, 1978, John Rogers Stevens, known professionally as John Legend, is a singer, songwriter, and musician who began playing piano by the time he was, guess it, 4 years old. At the age of 15, he won an essay competition sponsored by McDonald's, following the prompt, "How do you intend to make Black history?" Obviously, John Legend's Black, for those of you who don't know. In his essay, he wrote about his plans on becoming a successful singer and pianist. He was dead on, as he would eventually record several piano-based masterpieces, including songs like Ordinary People, 2005, All of Me, 2013, and Glory, featuring rapper Common in 2014. That song, Glory, I just have to say, if you guys haven't heard it, please do me a favor and listen to it. It's just so emotional, so powerful. The piano play, it's just great. You even have a little bit of rapping in there. So It's called Glory by John Legend and rapper Common. Throughout his career, John Legend has won an amazing 12 Grammy Awards. Born in 1978, he's got 12 Grammy Awards. And in 2007, he won the Hal David Starlight Award from the Songwriters Hall of Fame, coming in at number 8, and quite impressive for such a young guy compared to some of these others on the list. Many have passed. Coming in at number 8 is John Legend. Okay, if you guys like piano, I'd really recommend him. Okay, let's carry on. Somebody said this next one, so you're going to have to scratch it and think of another one. You got 2 spots left to do it, because once we get to number 5, there's no more picks. And remember, moderator Mummy Dearest is watching, so she's keeping an eye on who's picking what. So no cheating. Okay, anyway, coming in at number 7 is Jerry Lee Lewis. Born in Faraday, Louisiana on September 29th, 1935, the late Jerry Lee Lewis was described as rock and roll's first great wild man. Him and Little Richard, I imagine. As a young boy, he grew up in an impoverished family whose parents mortgaged their farm to buy him a piano. In his youth, he began playing the instrument with 2 of his cousins. Check this out. Mickey Gilley, a popular country music singer, and Jimmy Swaggart, a popular TV evangelist. Nicknamed the Killer, his high-energy piano style was on full display with his 1957 singles, Whole Lot of Shakin' Going On, and his legendary signature hit, Great Balls of Fire, which was elected to the Grammy Hall of Fame in 1998. A 4-time Grammy Award winner, in 1986, Jerry Lee Lewis was inducted into the inaugural class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. First year it was available to be inducted. In 2022, Jerry Lee Lewis was also inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, which was a great honor for him after being snubbed by Nashville for many years. So coming in at number 7, made a movie of him. I remember it was Dennis Quaid played Jerry. Did a great job, by the way. Almost as good as Val Kilmer on The Doors, but that's a different story. Number 7, The Killer, Jerry Lee Lewis. As we move up the list to number 6 to find out who the GOAT is, who's the greatest of all time pianist or keyboardist or both. Number 6, Ray Charles. Born in Albany, Georgia on September 23rd, 1930, the late Ray Charles Robinson was a singer, songwriter, and pianist who was often referred to as the genius due to his many contributions to the music industry. Some of his most monumental piano-driven tracks include songs like What I Say, 1959, and Georgia on My Mind, 1960, which was honorably designated as Georgia's official state song in 1979. Rolling Stone magazine ranked Ray Charles at number 10 on their list of the 100 greatest artists of all time, while 10 of his recordings have been inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. Throughout his storied career, Ray Charles has won an incredible 17 Grammy Awards, and in 1987, he was awarded the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Number 6 on DJ Ray's list of the greatest artists of all time, it goes to Ray Charles. Okay, we're into the top 5. So with that, that's a little sip. I see Chrissy's here. Crispy. I like that. Johnny, you were thinking of Ray Charles, eh? Yeah. He's any one of these at this point could be the best. They're all phenomenal. But just before I get to number 5, I just want to remind you guys, I'm DJ Ray here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. live on TikTok and Facebook with my show, DJ Ray's Music Goats, with the GOAT standing for the greatest of all time in different music categories. Tonight's category, the greatest pianist or keyboard player of all time. Number 5 goes to Sir Paul McCartney. Bet you guys didn't know he was a great piano. Well, you probably did. Born in Liverpool, England on June 18th, 1942, Sir James Paul McCartney is a singer, songwriter, and musician who gained global fame as a member of the Beatles, for whom he played bass guitar and the piano. As a teenager, he taught himself how to play both instruments by ear. As a member of the Beatles, he played piano on several songs, including A Day in the Life, Hello, Goodbye, Lady Madonna, Hey Jude, The Long and Winding Road, and Let It Be, just to name a few. A 19-time Grammy Award winner, in 1979, the Guinness Book of World Records recognized McCartney as the most honored composer and performer in all of music. In 1988, he was officially inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of the Beatles. And in 1999, he was once again inducted into the Hall of Fame as a solo artist. Coming in at number 5, and one of my favorites, all around actually, Sir Paul McCartney, Fab Four, the Beatles, or solo career. I mean, his band Wings was way underrated. They're so good. Okay, let's carry on. Now we're getting into like the meat. These next 4 are, I think number 3 is going to surprise some of you, but the other 3 of the 4 are certainly no surprise. And I've seen, I believe, all of them were picked by somebody except for number 3. I haven't seen number 3 picked, but that doesn't matter. As long as you pick the number 1 and you're the first one to chime in on the chat, you're going to be added to our list with, Darren and Ange and Hunter and Jay and Uncle Mike, who, by the way, Uncle Mike has 2 championships. So imagine if he wins again, he's going to start like running away with this, guys. And we got the whole summer. So, you just got to start racking up some championships, guys. Okay. Number 4 on DJ Ray's list of the greatest pianists of all time, Billy Joel. Born in New York City on May 9th, 1949, Billy Martin Joel is a singer, songwriter, and pianist who was nicknamed the Piano Man after his signature 1973 song of the same name. It's hard not to be right up there when you're nicknamed the Piano Man. Beautiful song too, by the way. At an early age, he reluctantly began taking piano lessons at the insistence of his mother and eventually grew to love his craft. He began his solo career in the early 1970s with a string of popular piano-driven singles like She's Got a Way, 1971, Piano Man, 1973, Just the Way You Are, 1977, and She's Always a Woman, 1978. A 6-time Grammy Award winner, in 1992, Billy Joel was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and in 1999, he was further inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Coming in at number 4, the Piano Man himself, Billy Joel. So all votes have been locked in now, and basically whatever picks you have right now is what you are kind of going with. And we're going to see. We're into the top 3 right now. I'll do a mini drum roll. And if you put it this way, if you picked any of these 3, your pianist's pretty good and your music pretty good. But we're not looking for just picking the top 3. We want the number 1 GOAT. So if you pick that, thanks, Debbie. That's nice of you to say. If you pick the GOAT, you're going to be added to our list with Uncle Mike, Ange, Darren, Jay, Hunter, and you'll be entered into it. And I want to say one thing too. There's motivation to win more than 1 championships, because you'll see when we do this best of the best tournament at the end of summer or beginning of fall, that having more championships will give you an advantage the more you have. So keep trying to win as many as possible. Coming in at number 3, this one might surprise you, but after I tell you a little bit about her, you may not be so surprised after all. Number 3. Over all these legendary pianists, number 3, Alicia Keys. Yeah, Carly Simon's a great choice too, by the way, Teddy. You're right. She didn't make this list. I've always got honorable mentions, but and Carly was at something like 22 or something like that, so she just barely missed it. Alicia Keys, check that one out. Born in New York City on January 25th, 1981, Alicia Agello Cook, better known as Alicia Keys, cool name for a piano player, began receiving classical piano lessons when she was 7 years old, playing composers like Beethoven, Mozart, and Chopin. Chopin. Practicing 6 hours a day taught her how to compose her own songs by the age of 12. And by the time she was 15, she was signed by Columbia Records. In 2001, she released her first piano-based single, Fallen, which topped Billboard's Hot 100 chart in the US. That's right, her first basic single goes to number 1. Her momentum continued with other piano-inspired hit singles like A Woman's Worth, 2002, You Don't Know My Name, 2003, and If I Ain't Got You, 2004. It's not much for grammar, but her piano, that's what makes Alicia Keys so cool. She was born in kind of a ghetto part of New York and stuff like that, but yet she's so classy and brilliant on the piano. Whoa. Okay. So at just 44 years of age, Alicia Keys is already a 17-time, can you believe that? 17 Grammy Award recipient and one of the world's best-selling music artists. Time magazine has twice placed her on their list of the world's most influential people. And in 2005, Alicia Keys was awarded the Hal David Starlight Award, which honors gifted songwriters who are making a significant impact in the music industry. Coming in at number 3, and nobody said her, by the way, Alicia Keys. You know, if she keeps up, Alicia Keys is going to be possibly the greatest pianist ever. She's only 44. Second here. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. Yeah, like I was saying, Alicia Keys, just incredible. So, but she comes in at number 3. I would say I was a little surprised by that because it's hard to think of Alicia Keys ranking higher than, Paul McCartney. And remember, though, this is just piano only. This isn't all that, so when you sit there and think about it, think, okay, Alicia Keys is great, but she's not as an overall artist. But we're only talking piano tonight. 52K, what? Okay. You guys ready for number 2 and number 1? This one was pretty close, okay? But as it always seems to be, and I think a few of you said her. Oh, you've got Nora Jones over there too. That's another great sleeper pick, eh? Number 2, Stevie Wonder. Born in Saginaw, Michigan on May 13th, 1950, Stevie Wonder is widely regarded as one of the most influential musicians of the 20th century. Blind since shortly after birth, Stevie Wonder was a child prodigy who learned to play piano at a very early age and charted his first number 1 U.S. single in 1963, just before his 13th birthday. Who has a number 1 song in the entire United States at 12 years old? Well, closer to 13, but crazy. Harmonica too. That maybe we'll do the best harmonica. I don't think there's enough harmonica players out there that we could do a goat for, but he probably would win it hands down. Have to give it some thought. There's some great harmonica players out there. 13 years old, he charted his first, I believe it was called Fingertips, a virtual one-man band. His use of synthesizers and many other instruments helped reshape the future of music. Some of his most popular keyboard-driven tracks include songs like Superstition, 1972, You Are the Sunshine of My Life, 1973, and Isn't She Lovely, 1976. Throughout his professional career, Stevie Wonder has won a total of, check this out, 25 Grammy Awards, which is the most ever by a male solo artist. He is also a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and in 2014, he was honored with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. It makes you wonder, how can anybody be higher than that? Who's going to be number 1? I mean, that's quite the resume. But once again, keep in mind, Stevie Wonder is just, he probably challenge for the #1 artist of all time, just period. Stevie Wonder has so many things going on, not just piano, but just as a pianist alone, I've got Stevie Wonder here at #2. So yeah, congratulations to anyone who picked Stevie Wonder. That was a great pick. But yeah. Oh, by the way, Ange is our moderator, and now, so we got her on the job. So it says right there. Thank you for that, Ange. And Mummy Dearest is, I guess we can't call her the moderator. She's more of the coordinator who makes sure that we're, who's won and stuff like that. And she just gave me, that's why I kind of disappeared for a sec, gave me the winner. And speaking of the winner, we're at that point right now. It's time to pick the #1 pianist of all time and the champion for tonight. You guys ready for this? Wait for it. Wait for it. The #1 pianist of all time on DJ Ray's Music Goats. And the winner is, I can't believe it, 3 now for Uncle Mike. Congratulations, Uncle Mike. Elton John is the greatest of all time. And look, some of you picked on Facebook. I believe I'm going to have to at least do a shout out to, was it Bobby? Oh, there's a lot of chat action in the Facebook here. Yeah, I believe it was Bobby here. I'm just double checking, guys. Give me one sec. Yeah, very good job. You're right, Tina. Very good job. Bobby from Facebook picked Elton. The only problem is she picked him after Uncle Mike. And a few other people, by the way, Bobby, on TikTok also picked him after Uncle Mike. But anyone who picked Elton John, amazing. Uncle Mike, you've got #3. You're going to run away with this, buddy. So the rest of you better start getting going here. By the way, Uncle Mike's not my real uncle. So if you think the fix is in or anything, that's his TikTok name. Sounds pretty good. Hey, my uncle's winning. But congratulations. Elton John, #1. Born in Middlesex, England on March 25th, 1947, Reginald Kenneth Dwight, better known as Elton John, learned to play piano at a very young age, earning a scholarship at the Royal Academy of Music when he was 11 years old. Some of his most popular piano-based songs include singles like Your Song, 1970, Rocket Man, 1972, Daniel, 1973, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, 1973, Benny and the Jets, 1974, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, 1974, Blue Eyes, 1982, I Guess That's Why They Call It the Blues, 1983, and Candle in the Wind, 1997, originally written for Marilyn Monroe, but rewritten as a tribute to Princess Diana after her death. And, if I'm being honest, I thought it was a little cheesy, taking a song that was written for Marilyn Monroe and changing some words around, but it was so many years, like 25 years before that it was written for Marilyn Monroe. I think in the 70s is when he first wrote it, Elton John, changed a few words around, but well, can you blame him? I mean, he was getting a bit older. Is he going to write a song within 24 to 48 hours? So, and that song went on to become one of his biggest ever. Having sold over 300 million records worldwide, Elton John is one of the best-selling music artists of all time and has had more than 50 top 40 hits on the UK singles chart. His career accolades include 5 Grammy Awards, 2 Golden Globe Awards, and was also inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1992 and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1994. In the year 1998, he was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II for his services to the music industry. And yes, there you have it. The greatest pianist, the GOAT, #1 top banana, numero uno, Elton John. And congratulations, Uncle Mike. You now have 3 championships to Darren's 1, Angie's 1, Jay's 1, and Hunter's 1. So for the rest of you guys, there's still lots of time to get on there. And all you really need is 1 championship. It's just like winning 1 Stanley Cup. You know, I'd like to see the Leafs win one in my lifetime. One Stanley Cup, you win one of these weeks, you're invited back at the end of summer, beginning of fall for our best of the best tournament. And there'll be more news on that and the prize and all that kind of stuff. But if you win more than one, you're going to have an advantage for each extra victory you have. And I'll explain that later. So with that, you know, I'd just like to thank all of you for joining me today. I hope you had a good time. And a reminder that next Tuesday, June 10th, our topic for the Music Goat will be the greatest trio of all time. So we're looking for 3-man bands or 3-woman bands or 3 mixture bands. Greatest trio. 1, 2, 3. 3-member bands. You know, I don't want to say any names, but I'm usually putting out on TikTok. This week I did something different. I put a little TikTok thing with the greatest pianists on it. And it was all the people, it was all the artists that are currently on tonight. So it gives you a little bit of an idea. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. And yeah. Okay, so greatest trio of all time next week. And before I let you go, just be sure and check me out on social media. I'm on most of the major platforms. And you can easily find me on any of those platforms by simply typing in DJ Ray's music when you get there, and I'll show up. Alternately, not live, but you know what I mean. Alternately, you can check out my official website at djraysmusic.com. I'd like to thank you once again for joining me. See you next Tuesday for the greatest trios of all time live on TikTok and Facebook at 8 p.m. Hope you guys can make it. See you soon.